It's not Tuesday today, it's Wednesday. But it is Tuesday, but it's Wednesday, but it's Tuesday. It's Danger Recall. You are listening to this. Well, maybe you're not listening to this on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. That's the confusing thing. It could be any day of the week that you're listening to this. But this comes out on a Tuesday, but we're recording on a Wednesday. This is irrelevant. I'm Colin Hubbards. I will be your host for this Danger Recall. Welcome to my lovely, sexy, sensual guests today. I have Mr. James Lockhart.
Hello.
And Mr. Dan Thompson.
Hello.
Yeah, that's taken a turn
Cole,
that I'm not sure about anymore.
Are you having an existential crisis today? Is that what's going on? Is it, is Colin's life going Inception?
I think I've just got a crisis, man. I think it's just a crisis. There's no existential crisis. Crisis all over the place. Do you know, that reminds me of an advert. One of the first adverts I ever did, right? I played a chef and I had to just say the word crisis, right? Like that. He dressed in my chef whites outside. Right. And yeah, and it was like, it was for like a magazine, like a entertainment magazine. And for months afterwards, everyone I knew was just going, crisis to me. So
Wow.
there you go.
Trouble, you get typecast, Cole.
I remember Dom Jolly, who's a UK comedian. He did achieve some worldwide fame, so some of our overseas listeners might know him, but he did that show, and one of his famous clips was him getting out a massive mobile phone and shouting hello. And in an interview, he said it was really weird because people, obviously, if they saw him, they'd want to do his catchphrase, so they'd just be shouting hello out of cars and stuff at him. So he walked along to stuff like, oh, hello.
To be honest, out of everything, that's probably the best thing to get shouted at you, isn't it? Because some people get some really fucking horrible things that they get shouted at them.
Horrible stuff, especially if you're like a soap actor or something like that, and you've done something bad in the soap, because that's all about sort of mucking each other over in soaps. And people go, you should have done that to Pat, you piece of... And it's like, it's television.
People get their car like defaced and all this graffiti all over their place, and get followed down the street going, oh, I'm going to have a go at you because you did that thing. It's like, it wasn't me.
How could you do that to her?
I got hired and there was a writer and they wrote the story. Like, it's really weird, isn't it? People can't disassociate that from the reality.
No.
That guy who was in Game of Thrones, spoilers by the way, Lily Allen's brother, actor, who had his penis cut off in the show, he constantly just gets, "Oi, no dick!" just like shouted at him all the time, like. And he's like, my penis wasn't really cut off.
Yeah. I got paid a lot, but not that much. Like, you know what I mean? That would be an astronomical fee to go. I mean, would you?
What,
no.
Get your penis cut off?
Yeah, for any amount of money?
Nah.
No,
man. I'm not going to maim myself for money.
No. Someone else would maim you.
No, I'm just saying,
okay.
like...
It'd be professionally done with, like, some really sharp gardening shears. So,
Yeah.
Silence.
Just
while everyone just ponders that.
Just the thought is just
sound of
hit.
legs being crossed.
Is it Wednesday? Is it Tuesday? Is it
Friday? It's Friday. So we're talking about Danger Recall. We're not talking about Danger Recall. We're talking about that's the next show.
Yeah.
Right? That's the show we're going to record next.
Recall the old show.
Listen, we're almost at 52 episodes of these.
Ooh.
I thought we were only going to do a year and then we're going to have a break. So I don't know. We'll have to talk about that off air, won't we?
Yeah.
That'd be something I should have discussed in a meeting, not sprung upon you on episode 48.
Well, that's all
but,
right. This is what we do. You like to keep us on our toes, Cole. You like to keep us guessing.
I like toes. Yeah. Got to keep you on there, springing on your toes. How are you feeling today anyway, James? You good?
I'm all right. Yeah. Not too bad. Yeah, sort of, I imagine do a cheeky workout before this. Trying to keep that up. Yeah, I've been trying to work out a bit. It's very important. Very important. I felt better in myself and of myself doing it. A few endorphins and stuff. Because let's face it, lockdown, I went through a period of doing really well, and then I can't remember why, just sort of stopped, just sort of petered out. And I find workouts can do that, but yeah. But I know that Dan's been hitting the gym a lot.
I'm worried because I was at the gym loads. I was in great shape for a lot of lockdown because there was nothing to do but go to the gym. And I've not done it in the past few weeks just because there's been like a little bit of a surge. It seems to be tailing off now, but a big rise in cases here in the UK, and so I'm just like I'm reducing any risk, especially if I want to spend time with my parents. I'm just not gonna go anywhere. I might pick something up, so I haven't really been going. And I have the reset of my my stage combat exam on Tuesday of next week. Oh. So I'm like, oh, I am not in as good a shape as I was when I did the original course a month or so ago.
Yeah.
So I might hit it a couple of times later on this week and just try and top up a little bit before I have to go fight for 2 days.
Yeah, good thing to do, man. Yeah, like I was cycling 22 miles 3 times a week up until last week when I stopped a bit of work, and now I'm not cycling anywhere near that amount. In fact, I haven't been on my bike this week, so my exercise has plummeted. And also because I've just moved house, I know we keep talking about this, but I ordering nothing but takeaways because we haven't got any food in yet. So I'm starting to look down at my belly and go, oh shit, yeah, so if you stop doing things and start eating shit, that happens, does it now? Is that what's going on? Okay, cool. Yeah.
It sounds like you've got a similar physiology to me as well, because like the plus side is that I can put on muscle fairly quick. The downside is I can put on everything else pretty quick as well. So if I literally take a bit of a break and start eating crap, you start seeing it pretty quick with me. It sucks, man. It sucks.
Yeah, do you know what? I've been so lucky. My metabolism has been amazing. If we want to talk about that, it's been amazing for years. I've been so lucky. I haven't really exercised or anything, and just been very lucky that I walk everywhere. That's always been a thing. But yeah, and I swam for years. I'm talking shit. Right, let's get into the episode. I'm talking absolute bollocks.
No, but do you know what? It's good. I hope everyone out there listening, this might inspire you to do something, or if you are doing something, well done. Getting up there, just a little bit of exercise every day really does you good. Dan,
get out. Move the body.
I know you haven't got any weights, but I was going to recommend you could just bench press all of your Pathfinder books, because you will be hench, mate. Yeah. You'll be hench in no time. Sitting there looking at racks and racks of those, so that'd be good. But what are we doing here, Cole?
Episode 48, Ready Slayer 1.
Oh, what a name.
Now, listen, I know we say this all the time, okay? When we talk about our episodes, we say we love them. But, Dangerlings, I want you to know that these 2 episodes coming up are honestly, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, the best episodes we've ever done. Oh my God, is that...
Really?
Did I just say that?
I think you did.
I think it is. I'm not sure about the best episodes we've ever done, but they're definitely, I think, the best up until this point.
They are most certainly high drama.
They are amazing.
They're exciting. There's high drama. We've got those wonderful moments that you get with role-playing, and you only really get with role-playing where shit comes down to the wire and it's all down to a roll, or it's all down to a couple of rolls, a couple of combat rounds. I was saying to Dan before this, it's actually in the next episode, but one of us says every single hit feels like a victory.
It's crazy.
That kind of fight, where everything mattered.
If we were doing the original Danger Recall model, then we would do these 2 episodes in one.
Yeah,
I think this is like, this is like talking about the last 2 films in the Harry Potter series, or this is like talking about the last 2 films in I don't know what other. It's like one of those things. It's like okay, albums. Sometimes people like Kid A and Amnesiac, by Radiohead. Those 2 albums are considered kind of one double album, really, even though they were released separately. It's like one project all together. And I think these 2 episodes are definitely like that. I know that every episode kind of strings into the next, but these 2 feel like a one piece of work, and it's so good. Right, we've got music from Kev. We've got Sword Coast Soundscapes. We got Bit Orchestra, White Sand, Serpent Sound. That's a new one. Serpent Sound Studios. Ooh. And good old Ross Bludgeon. Dan, come on. How do you feel about this episode?
Oh, man. This is... I've been building to this for a long time in the narrative. I knew this was coming for a while. I knew this was going to be a really big one. And it's it's also the finale. It's the season finale of effectively, I think on iTunes it's season 3, but like adventure 2 of the Danger Club. It's the end of the Godsmith heresy.
Right.
Which is astonishing to think now that we've done in 49 episodes. We completed 2 adventures, and we're on episode. We're in the 140s on the main show now, and we're in our 4th adventure overall. Partly because of the adventures are getting longer, partly because we've added in extra storyline. But it's like, wow, we knocked off 2 full adventures in under 50 episodes. That was super quick. But yeah, I had a lot of big stuff. I'd had a lot of stuff planned out in this for basically the whole time you've been in Care Marga. I knew that this is kind of where we were heading, hopefully, because once you put stuff out into the world, players can affect it, and you have to go with that and change it. But I was like, if things go right, this is just about where we end up. And I was I was really pleased with how it came together, especially when we got the edit together with all the music on it, and which I'm sure we'll talk about the reprise of the theme tune and all sorts of things like that. It's lovely. It's so much drama. Everyone gets a little moment. Everyone gets a cool thing. They're the 2 episodes that I would. It's hard because they're the 2 episodes I would like to give somebody to listen to say, look at what we do, listen to what we've made.
Yeah.
But also, they need a lot of context to really get the most out of them. So they're probably not. It's like giving someone Avengers Endgame as their first Marvel movie and being like, look how good it is. And they're like, I don't know who any of these people are.
Which, am I right in saying you took someone to the cinema to see, James? Like,
I did.
You took, and you.
I did indeed. And they had no idea who anyone was.
They were sitting there all the way through going, who's that?
Yeah.
That's Spider-Man. It's Spider-Man.
Yeah, it was Amy, bless her. She came and saw it.
Yeah.
She was just like, I don't know who these people are. And she's got sort of a little bit of a attention sort of trouble. She struggles to sit down and concentrate on something for a long time. And that film's a long film. And a lot of stuff happens, and she had no idea. But she still kind of enjoyed it. That's the power of Marvel. But bless.
My wife had seen all of them except Captain Marvel when we watched Endgame, and as soon as Captain Marvel appeared on screen and started like doing her thing in the final battle, she's just like, who's this bitch? She's just like fucking new character turning up when I'm trying to watch the Guardians of the Galaxy doing stuff.
Did she just think it was really poor writing, just sort of like, oh, a random person you've not seen comes in to save everyone? It's like,
because if you've not seen it, it does look like the biggest, like, oh, we can't be bothered thinking it. Yeah, Superman, but it's Super Lady turns up and fixes things. And it's like, and then when you watch her actual film, it's like, oh, it's one of the best ones.
Yeah, I love Captain Marvel. That's great.
Oh, it's great, isn't it? A lot of people diss Captain Marvel, don't they, on that internet? Everyone goes on there and she got loads of hate and loads of like, it's probably to do with patriarchy and
because that's one of the reasons I loved it so much is because she doesn't have any romantic interests. She doesn't need that. She doesn't do anything like that. And it's not made of like, they didn't make a big point of saying, look, she's not doing that. She's just not that kind of character. She was like, I'm not interested. Just get on with my stuff. Thanks very much. And I loved it. I thought Captain Marvel was great.
Really it's great. I mean, spoilers again for Captain Marvel. If you haven't seen it out there, skip forward 30 seconds. But when the sequence of when she stands up is just, I know that's, all she's doing is standing up in every clip. But it's fucking amazing. Yeah. Like, it's so good. It's so well done when you see all of the iterations of her just stand up. And it's like, yeah, man, we've been waiting a long time for this. Just to see women stand up. Yeah. And fucking kick ass. It was awesome, man. It was so good. Yes, Captain Marvel. Yes, Brie Larson. Yes, Marvel. Thank you. Yeah. It was great. Now let's get into this.
Yes.
Good segue. We're talking about Killer Queen. That's the first. Yes. That's the only bit of music that gets mentioned in this episode. We have Killer Queen. Any deep dive on this song? Anyone got one of those? No, I haven't deep dived.
It's by Queen.
It is by Queen.
It's an interesting one. It's very, very Freddie. Like, I know all the songs are, but like it's such a strange sort of like, it's a great song, but it's very oddly put together, sort of slightly operatic and quite sort of cabaret almost, that sort of thing. Yeah. It's a really weird song, but it's cool.
It's a great song. It's not the Queen song that you're going to hear when you're out. You're not going to hear this like playing when you're in the club or something. But it is definitely a banger.
I've always been a Queen Greatest Hits 2 person rather than a Greatest Hits 1. I've always liked the weird all the weird instrumental stuff that goes on Greatest Hits 2. But I feel like I need to re-listen to 1. I feel like maybe I didn't give it enough. Maybe I didn't give it enough credit. I don't know. Maybe there's more Freddie on that I need to like re-listen to and fully appreciate.
Yeah, you can get a bit obscured with the big hits, like the really, really mega hits. Yeah, obviously they're one of the most successful bands ever, but like, you know, the mega hits. And you can, gloss over some of the other ones, which are a bit like, ooh, quite weird.
What's amazing about them is they had like, I think my dad was a massive fan, like back in the day, before they became Queen. You know, because it was kind of like Aerosmith, where they're kind of two bands, where originally like their early career is very different. Red Hot Chili Peppers very similar. Like their early career is like kind of raw and something different and very experimental, and then they get to this point where they start making pop songs. You know, before that, they didn't really make pop songs. And then all of a sudden, you've got Aerosmith singing, I don't want to close my eyes.
Yeah.
When, 20 years before that, on their third album, they're going, backseat love always, and come on and talk to my daddy, say. Like, it's a completely different vibe and song and style of music. So I think Queen, when they started making those sort of big hits and stadium anthems, a lot of real essential Queen fans kind of started dropping off and going, I liked him before, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can see it. It's a big change. That's why I feel like I need to go back and try the early stuff, because I feel like the later stuff is easier to consume because it's more, it's more production and it's poppier, and it's got David Bowie on some of it, and it's like wow, that of course you're going to go with that. But yeah, I'll try out these. I like that, a bit of a impromptu Freddie deep dive.
It was nice, wasn't it?
And also, just you mentioned Aerosmith. Like, if you go back and listen, "Toys in the Attic," it doesn't sound like Aerosmith as you'd think if you don't listen to the later stuff, and it's some great tracks. Actually, the track "Toys in the Attic" is one of my favourite by those. It's really good.
Nice one, man.
Yeah, it's
really
a lot
of bands do that. Don't they? Even recent bands. I mean, even recent bands. You listen to Kings of Leon. You listen to the first 2, and I say 3 albums. Just amazing, like raw, raucous rock, kind of come out of the blue. Didn't know where the fuck that came from, and then all of a sudden, like episode 4, 5, and 6 are all just stadium kind of songs.
Yeah,
big kind of sing-along songs.
Big sing-along songs. Well, it reflects what they're doing.
I've seen them at the Leescliff Hall in Folkestone.
Nice.
That tiny little venue on the pier.
I bet they were
wearing very tight jeans.
I bet that was fucking amazing back then.
It was a great gig.
Yeah.
It was very, very good.
First album, second album?
Probably say it was just as they were just as they got a stylist, basically. Early on they looked kind of hillbillies.
They really did.
And then after a couple of ones, they just start turning up looking like they're dressed for the cover of the NME.
They'd shave the beards. Kind of apart from the drummer, they'd all shave the beards by that point, and their haircuts were like all slick.
Yeah, it was that kind of crossover point there that I saw, because I remember being surprised by how they looked compared to the music.
Caleb Fallowell started like dating models, that's what happened. Cool. Okay, so we get straight into this episode. No mucking about, not like we have done now. We've been talking for 18 minutes about Queen and Kings of Leon.
Loved it.
But with that's Danger Recall, man. That's what you tune in for. We get straight into this episode. We are essentially just like jumping in. We have a little reference from Star Wars. Someone says these aren't the droids you're looking for. Which is that classic line. Yeah, we this is a great little bit. We get Velda gets kicked in the balls, punched in the balls by Fulton, right? And then Velda picks up, because we haven't met the gunslingers or anything yet, and Velda like picks up Fulton's hat off his head, the lion, right? And then Caragor kicks Fulton in the balls. And this is when we're being interrogated by Nerissa.
Yeah.
Like she's just killed this guy in front of us. We've just come out of the ossuary. We know we've got no weapons on us whatsoever, and we start fucking about.
Well, look, sometimes the mood for the Three Stooges comes over you, and you just got to go for it, haven't you? Just got to.
It's true.
And all this sort of business. It does show our general irreverence towards authority in dangerous situations, which we do repeat.
Yeah.
I forgot how much of the episode is this section. I'd totally forgotten a lot of this.
Yeah.
And there's lots of. It's an interesting bit. I really like I like that there was a dick punch to dispel the mind effect on Velda, and maybe we should come back to that. That dick punches to dispel things. There's a bit I really like when Velda starts casting Mage Hand, and Colin, you're like, yes, and I can tell in your voice, like, you think we're gonna fuck up the High Priestess. You think we're like Velda's gonna steal the papers back, or we're gonna let her
right.
And instead he just uses it to troll Fulton for a bit.
yeah. I was really excited by that.
So I used it for the correct purpose, is what you're trying to say.
Oh my goodness. It's a weird one, because she's the kind of NPC you don't really want to put players in a room with, because she's so much more powerful than you, this High Priestess.
Yeah.
And she's got abilities that take away your agency, which again is not necessarily fun to play as a player. When you're against an NPC or a monster that can mind control you, that's really frustrating, because it makes you do stuff that you don't want to do, and so you want to use that really sparingly. But we just kind of, it was just where we ended up, so we had to sort of see it. I like the contrast of how Murder's Mark ends to how Godsmith Heresy ends. Like, if you imagine, like, Murder's Mark ends and you are unequivocally the heroes of the town. Like, everyone loves you at the end of it. You get the reward. Yeah. There's a whole parade, people singing, dancing, cheering for you. And then this one, you complete the quest, and the people who hired you tell you to just throw the money at you and tell you to piss off, and it's like, it's such a downer end. This is like our Empire to it's kind of to the New Hope.
Yeah, it's a very Witcher kind of end, where you just get paid, but generally people still hate you, and they just want you to go away as quick as possible. And you're like, cool. Laters.
Yeah.
It was weird, and it was totally unplanned. I was not, I was expecting you to go back to Neryssia herself to get the money and be on your way. But we kind of had the chance to add this extra bit in with the High Priestess. That was quite fun. It meant we got to mention the Still Place.
The Darklands are mentioned. Yeah, the Still Place is mentioned. I was about to say that. Yeah, all of that sort of stuff.
And it was fun to be able to give Shania a little bit of just sort of seeing the organised side of her religion. She's found this religion herself on her own, and then she's her first encounter with like the organised church of it, and it turns out they're kind of dicks, and that's some nice sort of character development for her. So I was happy with the amount of stuff that came out of it.
That was great. I thought Shania was really going to kick off. I mean, I know we were holding her back and we were stopping her from doing that. But had one of us just said, oh, no, fuck it, just leave it, see what happens, that could have been a fight. Like, Shania could have died, basically, in all of that. So, that was quite interesting just to see her reaction. So anyway, we do all of that, and we get out of there, we get paid. Shania's like being dragged by a hood out the door. We talk about Kiss from a Rose again. I don't want to talk about Seal too much, but what a voice that guy's got.
What a voice. And I saw an interesting, just on Kiss from a Rose, we won't go into too much, but recently I was listening to it, and there is a theory that's actually quite convincing that song is about cocaine.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, he's not actually singing about a girl at all. And when you listen to the lyrics, you're like, oh, he does sort of sound like it's odd ode to something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, could be that. He's got a great voice, man.
Fantastic.
There's a really amazing clip of him. I think it's in like Doncaster or something. He's just in the town for some reason, and there's this girl busking, and she starts singing one of his songs, unbeknown to her that Seal is there, and he's just kind of wandering past, and then he goes up and he sings with this busker. It's a really nice clip where he's just like, there is so much I can tell you. It's amazing. It's so cool.
He's a dude. I've always loved that song. He's great.
Cool,
he's a good artist. Cool.
And his early stuff, remember Adamski with Killer? Do you remember that song? Right. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, bum. It's great. Yeah, give that a whirl if you've not listened to that. So then we walk over to the bar. We walk in, we bowl in just to have a drink and get changed, and then the door closes behind us. And inside there's orcs all over the place. There's a lad in a duster, and we hear the spurs cross over. I don't know if you heard this on your if you listen to this on headphones or not, Dangerlings, but the spurs cross from left to right as as he walks across the bar to give Karagor his drink. Now, If you listen to the next bit, the Spurs go the same way. I made a mistake, all right? I didn't flip the sounds, and he walks from left to right again. And that's the only thing.
Hey, it's a big room. All right. It's
He's
just constantly walking right. That's
walking in one direction.
It's a Mobius strip. The bar he keeps walking out one door and ends up.
It's like the background in the old Scooby-Doo cartoons. They just sort of reuse that one background when they're running.
Yeah. So that's the only bit of sound that I was disappointed with listening back. But otherwise, it was. I'm really interested in the whole thing that I did here. It was good. I love this joke that they've been waiting 3 days for us in the bar. Just for this bit.
Yeah, that dead barman's getting ripe by this point.
Oh God, yeah, the stink of the dead barman.
It's gonna be worth it, guys.
Honestly, seriously.
Now, I guess they were watching us, Dan. They were waiting for us to come out, and once they heard the words, they saw us and they rushed over. Right?
It's a total setup. So Pines is a bounty hunter working for the certain factions within Belkzen that have been hunting Caragor and his friends, and they've basically set up a kind of a regular ambush point in Kaer Marga, because Kaer Marga is where people tend to wash up. It's quite near Belkzen, and it's because it's this kind of place where you can go to get lost, and it's a place where loads of people from different places come. People end up there quite a bit. It's very Mos Eisley in that kind of way. So
I guess that's why Bubba ended up there. That's why they ended.
Exactly.
The rest of the team ended up there, sort of thing.
So they've kind of ended up with this. So what has happened essentially is Freya has bought her freedom from what happened back in Belkzen by agreeing to help bring in all of the other fugitives. And so she basically is based in Kaer Marga. She's there. She catches hold of the fugitives when they come through. She finds a way to delay them in the town, to hold them there while the bounty hunters get there from their base nearby. So she's kind of given you this quest to keep you in the town for a few extra days while she's sent word. Pines has then been able to race over, bag Travis and Ica, and then set this whole thing up. And of course, they're watching the Temple of Pharasma. They're watching everywhere. They know when you come out, so they know when it's time to go with it.
Yeah, it's nice. It's really nice. And then we have, we're all sort of moving towards these places. I've got a note here that says, "The bartender is dead. This guy is a prick." Obviously talking about Pines, which I loved. And then obviously the hoods come off. And there is Travis and Ica.
Yeah.
Freya's given them up. But they said that Freya didn't want to give up the girl.
Yeah, she gave away the location of Travis, but she didn't tell him that Ica was with him, and so she nearly got away. But Pines grabbed her anyway. Maybe a shred of light left in Freya. Maybe she still thinks she's doing the right thing. Who knows? But yeah, that's how she went.
I think by this point, just talking about going back to my point earlier about loving these episodes and thinking that they're one of the best that we've done so far. The fact that I think everyone is into the groove with their characters, with their spells, with their, with their the journey between us as characters as well. Like, we all know the kind of relationships by this point well enough that this section is so awesome between us. I think it's just really good. We're sort of all firing off each other as actors, as characters. Yeah, everything's kind of gelling together. And Dan, especially as you with your DMing as well, it's like this story, you've been waiting to put this on us for ages, and I think it's really, really good.
Yeah, and you can feel the focus, you can feel the light move in when the hoods come off and you realise that the two of them are there. Up to that point, I'm listening back to it. I can hear myself kind of fighting to juggle everything, because because as a group your natural reaction to being threatened is to make jokes and reject the authority of the person threatening you, and also because if you know that there's a fight, a lot of you are like, what kind of tactical advantage can I get through just kind of flavor stuff? So everyone's like, I'm going to walk behind the bar. I'm just going to casually walk behind this guy and just lean against the wall behind him with my dagger in his back. Or, it's like, I'm going to get a drink. Do you want a drink? I'm going to have a beer. Oh, look, there's a dead guy there. And then the hoods come off and it all just stops. And everyone's like, okay, this is happening.
Right. Now it got serious.
And as a player, I knew exactly, as soon as that hood came off, as soon as I saw it was Ica, I knew exactly what to do. Like it was in my mind. I was just waiting for everyone else to finish their little, like, I'm moving over here, I'm doing that, blah, 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 blah. And then Caragor says, Danger Club, you don't have to do this. And I just had that line in my head for the last few minutes. And I was just like, yeah, but they mess with the girl. And I just thought, yeah, man. Yeah. Yes, I got it in.
It's the coolest M moment in the entire campaign. It's so good.
Yeah, it's so sick. Moment. Yeah, I loved it. Loved that moment. Just the whole build-up was so good. And I just knew that someone else would get there first if I didn't get it in there. Like someone would have a cool line and I'd be like, damn it. So I just slipped in as soon as there was a moment. I was like, bam, I'm saying it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I had no idea how this was going to go down. I knew this was tough. You guys knew this going into it. It's quite rare at the start of a fight that you have such a clear idea of the odds. But you knew you were messed up. You knew how few hit
we'd just come straight from a tough dungeon. This is catching us quite literally with our sort of adventuring pants down, wasn't it? It was just like, damn.
And what's really good about that is that the way we roll, because we all roll really badly in our initiative. Yeah. So it kind of makes sense. We're all fucked. We're all we've got a lot of bravado and we're we've had a lot of shit. But actually, in the real world, if you were that fucked, your initiative wouldn't be good. Yeah. So you would all roll really badly. So we roll really badly at the start.
We were coming back to go to bed, to have a drink and go to bed. Yeah. That was all the plan was until we walk into the place and it's just like, okay, let's sort this little scuffle out between these guys. I'm sure we can probably talk. Oh God, it's a fight to the death.
It's the sort of encounter that if it literally was a fight to the death, if it was someone who just wanted to kill all of you, then you'd be really nervous GMing it. And I was anyway, because of the potential to lose. But because Pines wants Caragor, the orcs are here for him. And if you guys give him up, if you surrender, maybe they have to kill one of you and then you back down. Maybe they drop a couple of you and the rest of you surrender because they're bleeding out. And then they take Caragor and they leave. So there's a good chance that you could lose this fight. Maybe lose a couple of people, but not wipe the entire party. So it's like, okay, it's on. We can do this. I don't have to fudge anything. These guys can just roll what they roll and we'll see who's left standing when we come out of it. Yeah, and I was pretty sure at least one of you would die in this fight because I knew it was tough, but it was the season finale and I was like, we've got to do it. We've got to see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it's so good. The fight, I just got a note here that just says this fight. And that's it. But it's great. End of episodes, Velda's smashed him with a ray of fire. This guy produces a gun, misses. Then the orcs miss Fulton. One of them misses M. Another hits Shania, gets stabbed. Fulton hits. Caragor fires a Tanglefoot, which is they're really good in episode 1, The Phantom Menace, in Pathfinder Edition 1.
Yeah.
So good. And that guy gets stuck to the wall. And then Shania gets in and Philippe misses. M rages for the first time, I think, in a combat ever. It might be the second time or something. I again, still getting to grips with my character, I think. And I just kept forgetting that I could do this thing. Ica weaves a nice little spell and cures Caragor a little bit with some There's some light wounds. That was really good. He says, clever girl. Another Jurassic Park, beautiful reference. I saw Jurassic Park the other day. We shouldn't get into this now, but I saw Jurassic Park in the Prince Charles Cinema, 35mm the other day. It was so cool, like seeing the old print with all the bubbles and the things. Anyway, if you can do that, Dangerlings, do that. And then, end of episode, Pines shoots a gun at Ica.
Yeah.
Dan, what's going on?
Oh my god! You know when you're just timing things, I'm just like, I know how this episode ends. Gunshot, blackout. See you next week.
Yeah.
And it's like all I have to do is just make it so it's his turn when it gas to time. As we'll find out in the next episode. Turned out it wasn't technically his turn, but it was a cool moment anyway.
It was a really cool moment.
And
actually,
it was just
yeah, because we'll talk about that in the next one. But it was a super cool moment. Super cool.
Well, isn't there a break in between the records of these episodes?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
this is the thing.
We ran out of time, so we had 3 weeks after this that you guys had to sit and wait and not know what had happened with that gunshot.
That was amazing, because we say that at the beginning of the next one, don't we? I don't want to go into the next one too much, but someone says, it's been 3 weeks, and it's like, fuck, 3 weeks. We had to sit on that with Dan, knowing what's going to happen, or not knowing what's going to happen, because he hadn't rolled the dice, but... Yeah, and then us and the Dangerlings just like in having kittens. We were.
Yeah.
Oh, Ica's been Schrodinger's bard for 3 weeks.
So there we go, Dangerlings. That was episode 48. We can't wait to talk about episode 49. Join us next week, where we find out what happens to Ica and Travis. Oh my God. And the Danger Club. Thank you so much to my guests this week. It's been Daniel Thompson.
You're very welcome, Colin. Thank you.
And Jameson Lockhartium.
You're so welcome.
I tried something, it didn't work.
Did,
but it's out there now. I'm owning it.
Do you know what? James Lockhartium is a fine name. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. If I'm going to become a space explorer in a steampunk starship, that would be my names. So.
James Lockhartium.
James Lockhartium,
isn't it? There is good that comes out of everything. You don't fail, Dangerlings. You just get better. Thank you so much. Get on the Discord. Join us next week. Bye.
Bye.